A great signing can be the difference between failure and success. Whether it be Sergio Aguero at Manchester City, Andrea Pirlo at Juventus or N'Golo Kante at Leicester, we love to see a signing who comes in and makes an immediate winning impact. But let's be honest, the signings we really remember are those which go horribly wrong. For every Cristiano Ronaldo there's a Juan Sebastian Veron. For every Didier Drogba there's an Andrei Shevchenko, and for every Fernando Torres there's a Fernando Torres. Four years after Andy Carroll, Liverpool once again rated a mid-table Premier League club for a physical striker who did not fit their style of play. Christian Benteke was Brendan Rodgers' last signing as Liverpool manager, and Jurgen Klopp quickly dispensed with him after just one season and 9 goals. Benteke had his moments during his time at Anfield, a cracker against Bordeaux in the Europa League, and spectacular scissor kick against Manchester United at Old Trafford, but these moments were all too few. Liverpool did at least manage to cut their losses, selling Benteke to Crystal Palace for £27 million in 2016. Manchester United paid a British record fee to sign Juan Sebastian Veron from Lazio in 2001, and it seemed like good business when he hit the ground running with 3 goals in his first 4 Premier League outings. But the pace of English football soon took its toll, and Veron's performances took a nosedive. Some players have their careers disrupted by injury. Jonathan Woodgate's career was one long injury disrupted by occasional periods of fitness. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, Woodgate got injured at the end of the 2003-2004 season, but that didn't prevent Real Madrid from signing him that summer. Numerous injury complications meant that Woodgate didn't make his Real Madrid debut for over a year, but boy was it worth the wait. He scored an own goal after 26 minutes and was set off for a second bookable offence midway through the second half. After just 9 La Liga appearances, Woodgate returned to English treatment tables instead. "13 years on from Juan Sebastian Veron, Manchester United once again broke the British transfer record to sign an Argentine midfielder, and Angel Di Maria continued the symmetry by failing to shine at Old Trafford, despite arriving from Real Madrid with a formidable reputation. He is now an integral and prolific player for PSG, that one-year spell in England being an anomalous blip in his career. There was a time when Valencia were considered one of the best teams in Europe, and Gais Comendieta was their beating heart. He was named best midfielder in Europe by UEFA 2 years on the trot, and when Lazio signed him in 2001, they made him the 6th most expensive player of all time. Mendieta had been a prolific goalscorer towards the end of his time at the Mestalla, but he failed to hit the target once in 31 appearances for the Biancocelesti, who sold him to Barcelona after 1 season. He ended his career with Middlesbrough, those days of Champions League stardom long forgotten. Having signed Radamel Falcao from Porto to roaring success 4 years earlier, this move made perfect sense for Atletico Madrid. Jackson Martinez was the latest Colombian striker pulling up trees at the Estadio do Dragão, and comparisons to his predecessor were inevitable. Atletico signed him for a similar fee to Falcao, but that was where the symmetry ended. Martinez scored just twice in 15 La Liga appearances, but his biggest sin was a lack of commitment. Unforgivable in the eyes of Diego Simeone. He was shipped off to China after one season and hasn't been heard from since, not in a sinister way. If ever there was a striker worth breaking the bank for, it was Andrei Shevchenko. A prolific goal scorer in Italy, he scored 173 goals during his first spell with AC Milan, surpassing the 25-goal mark in 6 of his 8 seasons at the San Siro, and won the Ballon d'Or in 2004. But Shevchenko's aging limbs and the pace of English football did not agree with one another. He found the net just 9 times in the Premier League before retracing his steps to Milan and Dynamo Kiev as his brilliant career sadly petered out. Carlos Tevez left his boyhood club Boca Juniors for a second time in 2017 to join Chinese Super League side Shanghai Shenhua, who reportedly paid him an annual salary of $41 million, making him the highest-paid player in world football. Shenhua were hoping that Tevez would help them win a first league title since 1995, but Tevez had different priorities. He later described his time in China as a holiday. He scored 4 goals in 20 appearances and was accused of being overweight. Shenhua finished 11th, and Tevez rejoined Boca for a huge loss. On the face of it, this looked like an incredible piece of business for Chelsea, signing one of the Premier League's most lethal strikers from rivals Liverpool on deadline day, but his ill-fated spell with the Blues never reached the prolific heights he had achieved at Anfield. Torres scored 45 times for Chelsea, including the goal which confirmed their place in the 2012 Champions League final, but he never scored more than 8 goals in a Premier League season at Stamford Bridge before returning home to Spain in 2014. The panic buy to end all panic buys. It wasn't that Andy Carroll was a bad striker. He'd scored 11 goals in 19 appearances for Newcastle since helping them return to the Premier League, but it was such an obvious case of a square peg fitting a round hole, and showed how poorly prepared Liverpool were for the sale of Fernando Torres. Sure enough, Carroll scored just 6 Premier League goals in 44 appearances before West Ham took him off Liverpool's hands in 2013, for £20 million less than the Reds had paid 2 years earlier. Even in the inflated markets of 2019, Carroll is still the most expensive English striker ever.